Hello and welcome back to this channel about gratitude. My name is Rachel Daigle. I'm a coach. I help people move along in their lives in the way that they want towards the achievement of their dreams. And a lot of things get in the way. Things have gotten in the way for me to achieve my dreams. And so I've got my own stories to say about that. And that's part of this video today. I've written a book about gratitude, and there's a lot of elements that come into this beyond just writing at the end of the day. I'm happy about one of the things that I started to share with you last week was talking about things that get in the way of feeling grateful, things that get in the way that block us, that blinds us of being grateful. And so last week I shared with you the irony that some of our qualities can be expressed a bit too much and cross an invisible line where they become not so much a quality. And so I want to talk to you about last week I shared about how confidence can cross an invisible line and become arrogance. And so this week I want to share a few more. I want to start with how fortunate can turn into entitlement. That was one of my gratitude blockers. I've grown up in a well-to-do family, and certainly growing up, I had lots of wonderful things around me, lots of wonderful life experiences. And then later in life, I got to go to university and get some great jobs. I worked in pharmaceuticals for many years. And so that allowed me to have and maintain a certain comfortable lifestyle. And then came relationships, pulling revenues together with my spouse also up leveled my lifestyle at a very comfortable level. So I can say that through the first 40 years plus of my life, I lived very well and comfortably. I also assumed that somehow this lifestyle was my status quo for life, some sort of a right. Yet, that's not been my reality. For the last 20 years, I've been mostly single, and I've chosen to go the entrepreneur route. So I can tell you that while I've chosen these things, I've hustled, struggled to earn a decent living. I am told I'm a go-getter. I would say I am ambitious. I'm an ambitious person with big dreams. Once again, ambition is a nice quality. And ambition, like many qualities, can cross an invisible line and become something else. Ambition can become entitlement. The gap between my before life and after life, I had not realized had sparked a sense of entitlement in me, which has been a blind spot. I did not know that this is how I came across. I didn't know that this is how other people perceived me. Entitlement, because it's this invisible line that I've crossed, and maybe this story could resonate with you. Entitlement is often defined as expecting or right to have something, often maybe without having earned it. For me, because that's what entitlement was, I didn't think that that's what I was doing. For me, my version of it, how people perceive me as entitled is the way I see it is, I've worked hard. Why is it not working? When is it my turn? And so there's this expectation that I should have my turn. I should have my share. I should have my time. It's still entitlement. And so when entitlement shows up and there's this expectation, that gets in the way of gratitude. How can I be grateful when there's a gap that I think that I'm entitled to that I didn't get? And so that's a blind spot that I've uncovered as I've been writing this book. This book has been a wonderful journey for me, and I hope that you will also have some different lights go on here and there as you either read it or follow along with these videos. A third thing that I found that is a gratitude blocker for me is expressing my position, my opinion, turned into thinking I'm right. In most things in life, most things come with an opposite. Hot exists because there's this other thing called cold. In exists because there's another concept called out. High exists because there's another thing called low that by itself, it was just be a position. And so in life, there is right and there's wrong. And maybe you're like me. My ego likes to be right. It validates me. And when life does not go as I want it to be, life is pretty much telling me that I'm wrong and it's right. I like to argue with life, and I will explain and justify my case, then maybe stomp my feet and maybe pout, express my frustration to others when life doesn't give me what I want. It's the one thing to take this right or wrong position in life in general. It's quite another to do it with another person. Here, it's trickier. It's one thing to say, I'm right, but if I'm right, that makes the other person wrong. And I don't know many people who like to be told that they're wrong, to be on the wrong side of that equation. I hope that most of my life, I've mostly argued with life and not pointed a finger at other people. Nonetheless, the fact is, this way of being, of thinking that I'm right, it's one thing to have an opinion and to express your opinion, but to express that opinion as being the right one is a gratitude blocker. It's been a gratitude blocker for me. And it was really interesting to start to be able to see that and articulate that through the writing of this book of what are some of my gratitude blockers. This is part 2. And some other things that I found have gotten in the way can be things such as regret. When we have this sense of regret, we want to fix this. We want to go back and we can't see the right side of things. So regret is another gratitude blocker. Resentment. So are there different ways that can blind us from being able to express gratitude? This is part 2. I'm going to have a part 3 for you next week. In the meantime, I hope that this content has got you thinking about what would be your gratitude blockers and what could you do about maybe changing your perspective of it or shedding light on it differently to be able to see how you can move through life with a bit more ease and maybe a bit more gratitude. With that, thank you very much for your attention. Click a like if you liked it, and also subscribe. There's more content to be coming. I've got a book load coming as I will share with you the contents of my book. With that, I thank you very much for your attention, and we'll see you next week.